Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Anaya, also known as Night Ember, and I'm back after a whole month, but who's counting, right? I just wanted to get on here and talk. Today's topic is what I learned about taking it slow with drawing art. Here's a little backstory. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this in any other video, but over the last several years of my, I want to say art career, but just like being on social media as an artist. I started off probably like 2017. I have an old Instagram account that I archived. I just archived everything and started over with a new account recently. But back then when I got started, I was drawing a whole lot. I was posting a lot on my social medias, illustrations here and there, comics here and there. Being in the art community on Instagram is a whole thing. You get in community, hanging out with people, communicating with others with like interests with you. And it just becomes easier when you're a part of a community. People encourage you to keep going. And that's what I've been doing, but it's great until it got to a point where I didn't like what I was making. Like, I make a lot of cool stuff, but at some point it just turned into, oh, I'm doing this for people, not myself. I'm more worried and focused on how is my audience going to like what I've drawn versus do I even like what I'm making right now? What is the essence? What is the message of the stuff that I'm making? I wasn't really thinking about that. I was just making a little fun stuff. OC interaction comics, which they were fun, particularly one which took forever, which took months to make, that actually had some essence in it. There's just like a few that I really enjoyed, and years later I can look back and be like, oh, I remember this and I still enjoy this piece or this comic. Some others, I just feel like they're lacking in essence, like kind of meaningless. That's a little backstory. So with all that being said, after I would finish something, a project, a comic, or anything, that's when the burnout came. And when the burnout came, I took a long break for 1 to several months each time. And I remember a couple years ago or a few years ago, it was so long. The only picture that I made was a fan art of Diluc from Genshin. The only picture that I finished, fully rendered, fully colored, was one fan art. And I think that was 2023 when I made that. Like, it was so bad, y'all. So this video is for some of y'all out here who might be experiencing burnout, or you're taking a long break, you're taking a hiatus. That's what was really happening with me. I was taking a long hiatus. But I just wanted to go over 3 points of taking it slow, because as an artist, when we take it slow, we get more benefit out of what we're doing. We're actually having fun. I know for sure when art is not fun, it's not really a great time. It's not really a great time. So the first point of this video is better focus. Now, why do I say better focus? This is something that I'm practicing right now, because I'm wanting to stay consistent in all of these things. And those who may still be here from the beginning days know how hard it is for me to be consistent. But trust, it's coming. Something that I've been doing lately is focusing so I can better focus. That kind of doesn't make sense, but hear me out. Normally when I start an art piece, no matter what it is, I would used to worry about how much time do I have to make this piece? Or I don't have any time at all. Having a 9 to 5 or anything similar can get in the way. We only have 24 hours in a day. And I used to be I would be that one artist who would stay up till like 3 a.m. just to finish a picture. Like, this was years ago. I was in college, whatever, but I would start something that day, that morning or afternoon, and I would keep going until it was past midnight, and something like that. There's no longevity in that, because some of us might drive ourselves crazy. I'm pretty sure there's people out there who do this on a daily basis and they function. But in order to avoid burnout in the near future, I take time to focus. And what I mean by that is I have a habit, and I just started this habit the other day. Something that's going to help me to focus. Because once I get started drawing is when I really can lock in and there's no distractions around me. So one thing I did is wrote down a habit. What is something that's going to get me started? So one of those habits is to just draw for at least 15 minutes a day. Now, am I doing all of that every day? No, but I'm trying to get better. But I found whenever I started drawing for 15 minutes, it's mostly like warm-ups before I really get started with the real thing. Like I could warm up before I start coloring or doing line art or whatever stage of the whip that I'm working on. But I find that 15 minutes, I'm just like, my brain is like, oh yeah, oh, it's just 15 minutes versus, oh, 1 hour, 2 hours, and then I'm worried about how much time I got in the day. And then my mind goes haywire when you have, what is it called, analysis paralysis. Like you start thinking about all the different things that you have to do in a day, and I'm talking about myself here. It can be overwhelming. So starting small, just like, okay, this is the minimum that I'll do, because I know once I get past this minimum, I can go a little bit longer or a lot longer, just lock in to like hyper focus on what I'm working on. Like, what do you call it? Flow state. Yeah. I started doing this, and I found when I started doing 15-minute warm-ups, it could be just something random too, like on a random page, and then I get started on my piece, or I'm just still doing the warm-up for over 15 minutes. I noticed that I'm a lot more focused and enjoying my time. I feel more accomplished. The second point of this video is no burnout. Now, one thing about taking it slow is something that I mentioned earlier was that I would start a piece in the morning or during the daytime, and I'll be finished by 3 a.m. And who knows how long I've been drawing. Sketch phase, line art phase, coloring, rendering phase. Like that's at most, depending on what it is, 8 hours. So doing that every day can easily lead to burnout. It's happened to me many times, which led to all of my hiatuses and burnouts. Now, one thing I found is when I limit myself during the day to at least, at most, 2 hours working on a piece. Don't matter how far I get, I need to just cut it off. Especially if I'm in the middle of line art, I can finish later. Or if I do my line art, I finish the line art, and it's time for the next stage, I'll be like, you know what? I couldn't get these base colors down, but I could do it next time. Or I get the base colors down after I finish my line art. And I'm going to be like, you know what? I'll do the lighting and shading the next time I work on this. Or I'll do the shading next time I work on this. Once I'm done with the shading, I'll be like, okay, next time I work on this, I'm doing the lighting. So I'm breaking it up into sections. First section, the initial sketch, and then the cleaner sketch, however I want to do it. But when I separate them into days by sections, that's going to bring longevity. Creatively, yes. And I find when I do this, it's a lot easier for me to jump back in and not be overwhelmed by all the steps that I have to take. Every artist is different in how they do their art, whether digital or traditional. I'm more of a digital person because all the colors, you know, the whole thing. You can erase colors, all that stuff. Yeah, so there's many layers, there's many steps, and doing it all in once, sure, finish it, you can pat yourself on the back for it, but I believe it leads to burnout, especially if it takes you a bit of time. They have some art people out there, they're just really quick, they're really fast, and that's how they move. I won't make this statement for everyone because everyone's different in how they process things, but for me, I know when I do too much, I get burnt out. Another point I can add to this, a little sub point, is making a goal to finish something by the end of the week, or a couple of things by the end of the week, and then break it up into sections throughout, like every single day. Have one section to work on. A little bit goes a long way every day, because by the end of the week, you're going to have a significant amount of progress. And this is true about many things. And I'm starting to see that now that I am taking my time. I'm working slowly but surely. And, you know, there's no rush, which is so good. And I think in today's age, not everyone, but there are a lot of people who are rushing their art. You know, some people, they use AI and it's like instant gratification, right? But the real ones out here understand that when we take our time, the outcome is better than if we rush something. Normally when I rush something, I like it for a time and then I go back after months and I'll be like, you know, I don't really care about this piece. Like, this could have been better, that could have been better. Like, if I just went back and changed a little something here or there, like if I took my time, I would have been able to make those changes. Just like making tweaks. If I don't like something, okay, so this picture here for my OC Dayu, her full body picture, at first I had her hair a certain way, and it's like, it's only slightly different, but I stood back and I was like, after I did the line art, I was like, I don't really like how her hair is looking right now. It's looking kind of wonky, and I don't know if it shows in this Speedpaint, but I actually took the time before I started coloring. Like, I went back to it the next day and I changed her hair. and I just happen to like it better, even though it's a slight change. But stuff like that is what I'm talking about, and it just makes me feel better at the end of it all, because sometimes when I go back and see something, I'm like, man, this looks kind of crazy, but then I don't want to like go back and redo it all because I already finished the picture. The next point and last point for this video is slowing down in this art journey, in our art pieces. It creates higher enjoyment. Now earlier I did mention like some people, they like to use AI. Pretty sure there's no enjoyment or fulfillment in throwing something in an AI generator, ChatGPT, whatever, and posting it and be like, oh yeah, I made this piece, like everyone come like my post. No. Just no. There's something about the human touch, and this goes with all kinds of forms of art. Writing, because I'm a writer too. Making music, drawing, poetry. I don't know about anything else, but there's something about enjoyment that comes from actually taking the time to put your hand to your craft. There's something about putting your hand to the paper, putting your hand to something. It creates enjoyment, especially if you enjoy this. This is your hobby. This is your passion, and you're just like in the middle of it. Like sometimes it can be hard, sometimes it can be tedious, but once you finish that picture, once you finish that story, that chapter, there's a feeling of accomplishment and fulfillment, and you just feel good about yourself. Like, this is how I feel. Like, I feel great about myself. So higher enjoyment, and it keeps you coming back to making more. It keeps you coming back again and again. I used to be motivated in the past when I had my last Instagram account. I used to be motivated by other people that were my friends, people who followed me and talked to me when it came to my stuff. I used to be motivated by making stuff and seeing what people said. At some point, it was even about how many likes I got. And after a while, I just did away with all of that. I didn't care. Like, I cared about likes and people and what people thought about my stuff over what I thought and liked about my own stuff. I started making things that I didn't like. They were alright, but I was like, this isn't really doing much for me, you know? It's not really doing much for me. And there's really no message. There's really no essence. It's pretty though, but I know it can be more than that. So I stopped caring about what people think about my stuff, whatever I create, and I started caring about, okay, do I like this? And even more so now, you know, because I am a follower of Christ. Like, does the Lord, is this in alignment with the Lord? Like, yeah, I care about what my Lord thinks over what anyone else does, but I'm in alignment with the things that he likes. So any brothers and sisters out there, y'all understand. Like, at this point, it's not even just about me, and I mean, it's not about the people, but I do want to reach people as well. I want to be a light to people in the world. And now that I think about my art and taking it slow, I can think more and, you know, just not be trigger happy making stuff and posting stuff. I want to be sure that I like it, but I also want to be sure that the ones with messages actually shed light into somebody's heart. I think that's enough for this video. I just grab the mic and I just start talking. So bear with me, there's no script here. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment if anything resonated with you or if you want to say anything to me. I really enjoy reading y'all's comments and I really want to build a community here. So for those who are sticking with me on this journey, thank you for joining in. If you watched to the end, thank you again. And I'll see y'all in the next video. I hope you have a blessed day. Until next time. Bye! interested in buying new stickers and prints, I have a variety of designs that I'm selling. It is a mix of characters from my story project, fan art, and anything related to God. I'm starting out with only a few, but will add more designs as I go. If you're interested in these products, feel free to join my email list so you'll be notified when my store will be open. You can find the link to join my email list and to check out my store in the description below.